Hi, everyone.
Hey, Darren here.
And Brandon, and welcome to the White Hatter YouTube News Show.
Woo!
We got a lot
We took a week off.
Yes, well, we usually take 1 week off. In
Well,
August
you need the break. You work unbelievably hard here.
And we
right?
got a busy week coming up.
We do. We have a huge week coming up. We're going to talk about that, right?
Yes, we are. So thank you all of us for joining us, and thank you for sitting through the break with us.
Yeah.
We got some time to relax, although I didn't really relax. I got a new kitten.
Yeah, very cute. It's a mixture between, what is the mixture again?
It's a Persian and a Maine Coon.
Maine Coon. Those are like the big cats, right?
Yeah, so we'll see how big he actually gets. So, I mean, yeah, I had a week off of White Hatter stuff, but I've been definitely busy taking care of a kitten.
Very cute. Very
Yes.
cute. Very cute. Very cute kitten, yeah, for sure. So, and you were just doing some other things too, right?
Yeah, getting things ready and cleaning up.
Yeah, cool. Right on.
Let's talk about some updates from us.
Here we go. I like this one.
First update, those of you who have been watching the show the last couple weeks know about this already, but this week is our Internet Safety for Parents and Caregivers special week-long free event.
You know what's really cool?
What?
We sold out. Even though it wasn't for sale.
Well, it's selling, I mean, you know,
No.
all the seats are filled.
All the seats were filled. 215 gone. So we've opened up another 15.
We were able to open up 15 more seats, so
Cool.
Get them when they last.
less than 24 hours before the first start. So head over to our website, right?
TheWhiteHatter.ca.
And there'll be a link on this page
Link will be
for you
below.
to click on. So 15 more spots open. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. We've put 8 hours worth of information for parents on everything to do with internet safety, security, and privacy over 4 days, right?
It's the debut of set number 2.
Oh, let's not say much, right?
All right.
Debut. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, so exciting for that.
Yep,
Also,
for sure.
although we had a week off,
Yep.
we were still kind of active last week.
We were.
Because we pre-recorded all our Thinkable Thursday interviews.
Well, Thursday, yeah, we pre-recorded him. This one was with Tad,
Yes.
Mine, and he's with Bullying Ends Here, and he's the president and founder of it. And we did a really good interview talking about how and why he started the company. For people who haven't heard him speak, he's got a very interesting story how he was basically held hostage in a basement by his stepfather for most of his young life. I mean, it was brutal, right? And so he uses that stepstone into creating this new organization, Bullying Ends Here, and we talk about that in detail.
The interview it talks all about it, and the link will be down below in the description.
By the way, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Yes,
Don't forget to hit
please.
that
It helps
subscribe
us.
button. Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to our friends at
big shout
Kinzu.
out.
We haven't given a shout out in the last little bit, so shout out to Kinzu, which is a more private family communications platform that gets families away from the Facebooks and the Googles.
Yeah, during COVID, we had a lot of parents connecting with us saying, their kids are trying to stay connected with their friends. They're using, Facebook Messenger and Facebook for Kids. And we said, don't do that, right? Because like it or not, they're collecting all your information, starting up digital dossiers on your kids. If you're looking for a platform that built privacy from the ground up, fully scaffolded by parents, which is also really important, and it's free. It's free right now, is Kinzu, and they don't collect or sell any kind of third-party information about your kids or your parents, and the only way that you can sign up is through the parent. We know families now that are now using this app as their primary communication app. They're not even using the messaging services, say, on their Android or on their iPhone anymore. They use Kinzu as their primary. I was involved in a farming community in Canada who are now using this app as a means of a community crime watch. Right? They've set it up so that they can talk, because they're on hundreds and hundreds of acres, right? These farms
Right.
where we were,
Yeah.
right? It was in Saskatchewan,
Yeah,
right?
makes sense, yeah.
And so hundreds and hundreds of acres, so they're very well spread. But theft on farms is significant. So they were looking for ideas, and I said, well, why don't you use Kinzu? And they went, what's Kinzu? And I shared it, and that's what they're now doing. They're using it as a crime watch to communicate. Very cool, right? Multi-purposes. It's free. Great organization. We highly endorse them and support what it is that they do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Let's talk about in the news.
In the news. And Brandon, isn't there a really cool event going on in the United States right now?
Yeah, so
Cool for us,
every August there are a couple security conferences, which are DEF CON and Black Hat security conferences.
Oh, really? Okay. I got to get into the role here. I'll
right,
be the
hold
White
on.
Hatter.
I will be the Black Hatter.
Yeah, you be the Black Hatter. Yeah.
I got my mask
Yeah,
too.
this kind of reminds me when we were, the old cartoons when I was younger.
There you go.
Spy versus spy versus spy, right? I'm the good guy, Brown's the bad guy. So that's what this conference is all about. Talking about vulnerabilities in technology that can be used by a black hatter, right?
Yeah. So I mean, these are all good people who go to these conferences and like report and show their research.
At least we hope they're good people. I'm sure there's
On paper, yes.
I'm sure there's some gray hatters in there, maybe a couple black hatters.
So basically conferences are security talks.
And just before you go, don't organizations like the FBI and that kind of stuff also go down there to recruit?
Oh yeah. All the big companies go down there to recruit and learn and present. And but I mean, right now it's all virtual.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
But that being said, although it's happening virtual, there are some really interesting projects and reports being released at these hacking conferences. Of particular interest are some wireless security issues.
So let's talk about the first one.
First one. So one hacker has done some research and built some eavesdropping tools costing about $7,000 to eavesdrop on mobile phone calls on the LTE networks.
What? This this came to light a couple years ago where law enforcement and military were using a product called Stingray, and it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
These vulnerabilities are nothing new. Like state actors, governments have been using these to spy on people for a long time.
Right.
But I guess now, given the cost of manufacturing, mass production in places like China, and just the value of consumer electronics now and how powerful they are, you can basically build your own cell phone intercepting tools for about $7,000.
So we could, now these are illegal to possess in Canada. I need to put that caveat up first.
Yeah, let's make that clear.
Illegal in Canada. I don't know about all the states in the United States, but in Canada, these types of devices to be owned by civilians, non-law enforcement, illegal.
Even law enforcement need warrants.
But they could still purchase it, right?
Yeah, they could use it, but there has to be certain
for sure. But so we want to make the caveat: it is illegal, number one. Right? But for $7,000, you can intercept cell phone communications.
Yeah, so people like black hatters could potentially do this and exploit this vulnerability.
So from a white hatter perspective, do you think that with this kind of news coming down the pipe that there may start to be more pressure now being put on cell phone providers? Because this is only on the LTE network, right?
From my understanding, yes.
Okay. So do you think that there might be more pressure put on by people like privacy commissioners now and privacy advocates to say to these cell phone companies, listen, this is a reasonable and foreseeable vulnerability, so because of that, fix it, encrypt it?
Why would they? This has been an issue for years. The government's been exploiting. They haven't fixed anything since.
But that was with government, but now that, and I get that, but now that this is more available to John Doe or Mary Jane, right?
Well, maybe it's pretty technical, so maybe not like an average person.
It's only $7,000.
Well, you need to build it, learn how to use it, and use the coding involved in it. So not just an average person could use this. I mean, technically they could. It took time, effort, and resources to build and learn it.
But I mean, we've been saying for years, and a lot of people have been saying for years, that cell phone is much, much safer because it was cell phone. It was data, so therefore...
The chances of someone in your local area having one of these is very, very low.
So what I hear you saying then is unless you're a state actor or you're talking about super uber secret stuff, it's not a big deal.
I mean, sure, there might be a couple hackers, skilled black hat hackers in the world who might use this to exploit it, but I mean, like...
Can I use it for Mom's phone?
Oh, dear.
Very interesting, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think governments would have much interest in making these more secure anyways, because they themselves are exploiting the vulnerability.
Good
So, I mean, like, unless consumers rise up and go, hey, cell phone carriers, but like here in Canada, we know cell phone carriers, here's the conspiracy theorists.
But it's not just cell phones either, right? You found something else that they were talking about at the conference.
Yeah, another interesting security report coming out was from DEF CON and a security researcher from PhD student from Oxford doing some research and experiments on internet-based satellite communications, where you get your internet from satellites. Now, in their research...
Because there's satellite phones, right?
Yeah, there are satellite phones. You can get satellite internet, too.
Yeah.
Now...
Isn't Elon Musk putting all these satellites up there right now to have his own satellite-based internet?
That's what we think is happening.
Yeah.
But what's interesting on this is that might put a pause to that, because according to this individual, this researcher releasing their reports here at DEF CON, they basically for $300 using only consumer level satellite technology that you get from your internet provider were able to intercept internet communication signals, because many providers who do satellite-based internet do not encrypt the traffic between the user and the satellite, which means it's open for potential intercept. Now, the researchers saying, well, if you're using internet-based satellite, it's sensitive information you're working with. Use a VPN. We use a VPN,
yeah, we do.
private internet access. We love the stuff.
Also gives us access to other countries to watch stuff.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just saying, hypothetically.
Yes.
Hypothetically.
Yes. Yeah, it gets you around content lock restrictions.
Hypothetically.
Yes. But interesting talks at DEF CON and Black Hat this year being around wireless internet and communications and the security or vulnerability in some of these technologies we use to communicate.
Interesting.
So, yeah, interesting. All right.
That's it from DEF CON. That's it from DEF CON. I love our props. I love our props.
Okay, what else is on the show?
Oh, yeah,
interesting. This article that you found here locally in Canada.
Another week, another arrest. I mean, human trafficking is not just something that is happening in, third world countries, as a lot of people think, right? It's happening here in Canada just as much as anywhere else in the world. But here's another good example where the police arrested a couple of males who were trafficking young girls, teen girls, in the sex trade, and we're seeing one of these almost every week now here in Canada.
And a lot of this happens through the internet.
Right, and you know what? And we're going to actually be talking about this in depth in our week-long that we have coming up. We have a half of, I think it's day 2, if I'm not mistaken, or day 3, one of those 2 days.
One of the days. It's 8 hours of content all week.
It's just where we're going to be talking in depth about what is it, how does it occur, and what can parents do to, number one, identify it, but more importantly, how to prevent it, and if you can't prevent it, how to report it.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to be talking about that. So 15 seats left, so if you haven't signed up yet, make sure you get on within the next 24 hours.
Or maybe they're gone by the time you watch this.
Maybe.
Chances are they will be.
Yeah.
But check down below in the link.
Yeah. Important thing though, right? So.
Another article you brought to the attention for the show this week is around vaping.
Yeah, you know what? We wrote a really significant article on vaping about 1.5 years ago. It was one of our best blogs we've ever written, right? People are clicking on it all the time. This is kind of a follow-up. It's based upon Canadian research right now, especially because of COVID and how they're finding that people who are vaping are more prone to negative consequences of COVID, right? Because COVID it attacks the respiratory system, right? And so vaping and stuff. So good article, highly recommend it, highly read it, not just for parents but for teens as well, just to kind of bring this up. Because again, a lot of teens think that all they're doing is inhaling water vapor, when in fact that's not in fact true. So the article that we wrote on our web post that you can find on our website under blogs, as well as reading this article, it's on our Facebook page as well now. I put it there as well. Just something really good for parents and teens to have a read of, just to get their heads around what's going on with vaping, and especially surrounding COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next on the list, this is one that you actually brought up for the show this week in regards to digital literacy and making people understand what marketers use to trick you into buying things.
Yeah, you know what? Digital literacy is kind of a catch-all phrase for everything that's going on in the on-life world, right? Like that's what we call it. Us boomers, us older generation, we still see a difference between the online world and the offline world. You millennials and younger people, you just see it as one world, which is the on-life world, right? Well, a part of that now is understanding the tricks and techniques that vendors and marketers are now using online to kind of mold us or flow us into something that they're looking to sell and for us to buy. And so that's what this article is all about. And this is important because I don't know about you, but for the past several months, I've been ordering a lot of stuff off of online, right? I mean, you've hooked me into that Amazon, all that kind of stuff, right? Well, there are tricks and techniques that all these major vendors are now using. And this is one article that kind of goes into some of those. So it should be something that a lot of adults understand, but not just adults, teens as well, because teens are starting to purchase things online and they need to understand how they can be manipulated and some of the tricks that are being used. So highly suggest that you look and have a read of this article. Again, it'll be on the links on this channel. We also post it on our Facebook page as well.
Yes.
So yeah.
Next topic, it's news coming out of the Android world. Android is building its new nearby share file feature also known as Apple's AirDrop feature.
I mean, the iPhone's been using it for years, and we've always heard Android. Well, how come we don't have it, right? Well, they finally come out with it, right? But I guess there's a danger, just like the iPhone, if you don't turn that sucker off.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when the iPhone AirDrop first came out, there were people who were just dropping all kinds of
Airdropping bombs.
Yeah, all kinds of
Emoji, eggplant.
inappropriate type images to people, and you can still do that today. If someone has
You
their
do.
AirDrop open to anyone to send them files, you can send them anything you want when they walk by you.
There was actually one just recently in Vancouver a couple weeks ago where a woman was on the transit system in Vancouver and rapid transit, and somebody sent her a very threatening message via AirDrop saying, "I've been watching you. I don't like who you are." I mean, extremely threatening. So again, it would be important, much like on the iPhone, that when you're in a public place, turn that sucker off. Only turn it on when you're using it, or at least on mine, if somebody tries, it asks you give permission, right? So,
or have it to, at the very least, contacts only.
Yeah, for sure.
It's only people who are in your network.
For sure. But it's about time Android caught up. That's why I prefer iPhone.
The Android's latest operating system, they've been playing back and forth on features for a long time.
Whatever. iPhones rule!
Smart Law, another researcher
What's
this
this all
week
about?
coming up with some research and some proof of concept work, talking about some certain smart lock brands, some cheaper ones that were able to be unlocked remotely very simply. So I guess the moral of this story I want to share with you all is, well, if you're buying a smart lock, which can be really great tools, make sure you're buying it from a reputable brand, that it gets updates, so when there's an issue, a brand will actually fix the issue. If you buy some random junk piece of smart lock from some no-name company, are they invested in keeping it secure?
This reminds me. Do you remember many years ago when the whole Wi-Fi garage door opening thing took place? So these hackers, they created this box where they could drive in neighborhoods, throw this thing on, and it would send out messages over all the commonly used Wi-Fi platforms. And as they're driving through the neighborhood, all of a sudden they saw these garage doors opening all over the place, right? I mean, potentially the same thing could happen here too, right? Like
in theory, depending on where the lock is.
So just get what you pay for again is what you said, right? Like I get it. Kind of fun. Oh, this one's fun.
Okay, this is just what I want to share. A security news reporter. We've talked about Graham here a couple times in the show. He's quite really funny in terms of his reporting. TV news station, doing an interview over what appears to be a Zoom or Skype call, getting over the shoulder look, and on the bottom of the laptop is what? Passwords and usernames. It's like, did you not see that, camera operator, that there were passwords there? I mean,
it kind of reminds me of the little yellow sticky papers that you see on desks and stuff, right? Or people would tape their password to their computer screens, right?
Yeah, so I mean, this is like, given especially now, a lot of people working from home in their home offices.
Hey, we're going to be talking about that on Monday.
Yes,
right?
we are.
That's the first thing we're talking about on Monday.
Which will be today if you are watching this.
Right.
In the morning.
Oh, good point. Right, we're first part is most important thing is let's secure your home and network. Do the best we can there, and then we proceed from there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking.
So I mean,
would one not be put your password visible?
Yeah, if you're doing video calls and you're working in your home office, then be careful of the little post-it notes.
And what's in your background, right? Yeah. Like some of the things we've been seeing over the past couple of months in the background.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tonight, if you're watching this on the day.
Well, just on a side note, one of the funniest ones I saw, I was watching a Zoom event that wasn't locked. So I'm watching this with all these kids and the teacher. All of a sudden, you see a mom in the background doing housework, and she's just wearing her bra and her panties, but she had no idea the camera the child was using for the schooling was pointing into the house, so it saw everything. I'm just saying. So these are some of the things we're going to be talking about.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I know.
Next news story, quickly we're going to talk about Instagram. So GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation in the European Union.
Ooh, that's a mouthful.
I guess not counting a certain former member. Basically, there's a lot more privacy laws in Europe and such. Basically, if your data is deleted, it should be deleted.
Right.
Turns out there's an investigation on Instagram that people requested their stuff being deleted. What is being deleted? So,
go figure.
I mean,
right? Like, go figure.
Anyways,
Does that really surprise you?
no.
That's why we say, as soon as you hit that send button, make sure everything that you understand, everything you're posting online is probably public, permanent, searchable, exploitable, copyable, shareable, and probably all for sale, right? Not all for one life, but probably going to be there, right? So never forget that rule.
Last article we quickly want to talk about is the Australian government is looking to propose legal legislation that will give the government powers to respond to cyber attacks on necessary infrastructure, being water companies, power companies, internet companies.
Makes sense.
Where, I mean, there's debate about this in terms of what classifies as an attack, and basically the government will then take control over a private company to then deal with cyber attacks. I mean, interesting perspective, and we'll see how this debate plays out in the next couple months.
You know, we follow the industry very closely, and one of the things I want to comment on is how far ahead Australia is in a lot of these issues. You know, when it comes to internet safety, security, and privacy, to me, Australia is one of those countries that is really taking the lead. They're the only country in the world right now that has an e-safety commissioner, a part of the government, right? Like, I've been saying Canada needs one of those for years now. Hi, I'm open if you. Anyway. But
I don't think we have the budget now for that.
I know.
I don't think any government has the budget for.
I know, but I mean, you know, tip of our hat, right? Tip of our hat to the Australians for doing that, and this kind of makes sense, right? Like, state actors are now attacking other states for whatever reason, and so like. Kind of, that's, if you like it, that's kind of an act of war, if you want to call it that, right? Like,
some people have been proposing for companies that if someone hacks you, self-defense, you can hack them back.
Yeah,
people are there's this whole theology in terms of what people are considering acts of war, digital threats, attacks. I mean, things are changing, and they are changing really fast, especially now that everyone's definitely online now.
Yeah, I agree. But tip of our hat, white hat to the Australians for even going down and having discussions on this, which is kind of cool.
Hey, it may go through, it may not. We'll see what happens.
Okay. You know, at the top of the show, you talked about your cat. And I'm just looking at your desktop here that people can't see, and you got a picture of your cat. You got a picture. Flash him up. Flash him up.
I got.
Check this out. He's a little kid. He's so cute.
Yeah, this
he's so cute. Check him out. Check him out.
Yes, that is.
Come on, pull him out.
He's right here. Oh, yes, they can see.
There he is.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Can you bring him back up?
Right there.
What's his name?
His name is Haptic, named after Haptic technology.
He looks like one of those little balls. Like, if you look at his fur, that's a really good picture. Did you do that with your DSLR?
No, I did it on my iPhone.
Really?
Got his claws out. It's very. The drama is just radiating from this picture.
Like that. What have you called him?
His name is Haptic.
Why Haptic?
Haptic. So look, he likes being around people. He likes touching people. He likes purring.
Oh.
So Haptic is named after haptic technology. So when your phone makes the buzzing sounds, that's haptic technology. So
and he's a mixture of a Persian and a Maine Coon. Yeah, I like the coloring too. I mean, you can kind of see the Maine Coon coloring coming out in him on his legs there, right?
Yeah, he's gotten bigger in this last week since we got him.
He's so cute. Yeah. How old is he?
He should be now 8.5 weeks old now.
Oh, has he gone to his first vet visit yet?
Not yet. It's this Friday's his first vet
that's when he gets his shots and stuff too.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a happy kitty after that.
No.
Pretty cute. That's I can't believe that's an... Like, look at the quality.
It's good lighting. It was a good lighting. That was at 4:30 in the afternoon. We have some really good light.
So that's natural light?
Natural light.
You know, if there's one thing I've learned from you with respect to the set that we've got going is how important lighting is.
Yes.
Like, I never really realized that. I mean, just changing your lighting can increase the quality of not just your pictures, but even your live video, kind of like what we're doing right now.
You can make simple, just HD webcams look really good if you have the proper lighting. You know, it's like, what did you say? Like, this lighting is 80%, that's 60% or something? Like, one's brighter than the other one? And so we have a 3-point line, actually more than 3 points, but we have basically a 3-point system where basically there's a light here that's 100%, a light here at 50%, and a halo light back here that kind of separates us in the background.
And then you got one up front, up high too, right?
Yeah, because this one wasn't quite powerful enough.
Oh, gotcha. So, I mean, pretty cool, right? Like I said, I'm really excited about the second set that we're going to
do. Set number 2's debut on Monday, which will be tonight if you're watching this on the day we release it.
Which is tomorrow.
Right,
tomorrow. Which would be today if you're watching this tomorrow. Something like that. Hey, who's on first? I don't know what's on second. Have you ever seen that episode of Abbott and Costello?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's a boomer thing, but I mean, you'll watch it and you'll go, what just happened there? Anyways, good show.
Good show.
Good show.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
We're back to our regular schedule now.
And don't forget, for those of you who signed up this week, 6:30 to 8:30 every night. That's Pacific Standard Time, right, on the Pacific Coast. But for those who've signed up, don't forget, you will still have full access to everything that we're going to be talking about over the next 4 days in a replay for at least a week
Sundays,
after, afterwards, right? So you can sit back. So people we've got some people who've signed up from the East Coast. It's going to be like midnight their time, but I said, you know what? Just who cares? It's going to be recorded, so watch it the next day when it meets your needs, right? Cool.
We're looking forward to this new project. It's the first go of a week-long special event.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if it goes well, which I think it will be, we're going to go probably do more of those in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
And look forward to those.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, on behalf of myself, I'm Darren.
And Brandon, thank you so much. And we'll see you next week here on the show.
Bye now.
Bye, everyone.